Hello traders, and welcome to the weekly outlook and setups volume 27. As always, we're gonna have a look at the market, how it developed this week, and what do we expect for the upcoming one. It was a pretty choppy week for me, especially I lost around 4 or 5% this week, and I just decided to withdraw from the market because the market conditions are just awful. Usually November and December are like that. Price really slows down. People are going on vacations or whatever they do. Holidays are here, so really think if you want to risk your capital during such times. So I think I'm gonna step away from trading a little bit, but as always, I'm here to provide you with the brutal analysis. So if you're new to this channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button in order not to miss all the upcoming content. And if you did already, let's head straight for the video. As always, starting from the DXY daily time frame, what do we have here? So we had this uptrend break to the downside, double bottom formation here, A, B, C. And currently though, I can see that the price is struggling here around that potential double top area on the daily. So we had this Fibonacci play here. You can see A, B, C, retracement 50% perfectly, and we expect this price to make a higher high. But currently, as I see, price is failing to make that higher high. So those are the first signals to me that this market may start reversing to the downside. And what did we have on Friday? So we had a whole week of consolidation. I was looking at this kind of ascending price action, this kind of a channel here, and I was waiting for a nice breakout to the downside or just for the price to break this resistance level. But price just consolidated the whole week, making all of the other pairs consolidating as well, not giving any nice signals or just manipulating all around. So then on Friday we had this bullish push, a massive wick here above that area, and a massive bearish engulf breaking below the structure. So is that again some sort of manipulation to induce sellers before market closure? We shall see. So what I'm looking for this market is downside. As I look, that price is failing to break this level. It currently broke structure. So we should expect some gaps, but how I want this market is to push a little bit to the downside and then wait for a clear price to form, clear structure, lower high formation here, and then potentially to ride this pair down. So if we're bearish on the DXY, let's see if EU supports our bias. We can see Euro USD daily time frame, 90% negative correlation to the DXY. So we had this double top formation here, price pushed down for a lower low. We expected that pullback here, which was perfect 50%, and yet price is still failing to break below, forming that double bottom here on the daily. So if we grab that zone, we see the last daily candle, we had that manipulation below the zone and a massive bullish explosion. So if we hit the 4 hour, we can see that this price had a descending structure like this. We had that descending structure. I was entering shorts around this area, but got stopped out again because really no momentum at all. So price tapped here, tap, 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 3 taps here, making lower lows, but right now we had this massive explosion to the upside. So if we're bearish on the dollar, this looks bullish, but what I want to see from it as well is for price to really break all of those resistance levels here, because we really have a lot of zones. You can see even from the left, we have this one, this interaction, and then we had all those structural points that price has to break. Right, so if we have a continuation to the upside, then a pullback, and that's when I will be looking for long opportunities. And remember guys, never get fixated on a position because this can just continue flushing to the downside, breaking below 1.10. If I see a strong break below 1.10, then I will be looking for a retest. And it's important just to go with the flow of the market, not to say before market open, I am long EU, because we never know what's gonna happen. So I am more bullish than bearish, but let's see how the market opens. Euro yen daily time frame, let's see what do we have here. So looking at the most recent price action, we had this consolidation, price broke, retested perfectly here, tried to push down but failed to make a new lower low, and we formed this ascending structure. So super simple, the price looks bullish. So why is it bullish? Because of the Japanese yen weakness. This whole week we saw USD JPY skyrocket to the sky, and that resulted in all the Japanese yen pairs to have continuous movements to the upside. No matter that, for example, Euro USD was down, Euro JPY kept pushing up. So just looking at the structure, it is more buy bias. I really don't want to sell this because I just don't have selling signals. We see prices trending up. So if I am to sell this market, I want to see this kind of structure get invalidated, lower low being created, pull back for a lower high, and then to the downside. And searching for some key levels, I can see that those kind of weak highs here could cause some reaction, and we can see the reaction is already happening. So looking at some sort of support level, well, somewhere around here, if you want to mark your last structure, I would mark this. So I will have a look at how price plays in between this range. If we have a bullish move here, retest, I will look for longs. And if we have a strong break below and then a pullback for a lower high or some sort of head and shoulders, I will be looking for sells. So as I said already, let's flow with the market. Aussie USD daily time frame, having a look at this structure, I see this bullish push to the upside and then a bearish push to the downside. From the daily, really no too much clear structure. I just can see that this is the major structural level, lower high, and then price continued down. We see we had 3 days of consolidation around something like this here, and then price broke to the downside, but super low momentum. So we can see that clearly on the 4-hourly time frame. It was like a clear lower high, not too much. Price pushed to the downside, created another lower high, 1, 2, 3 formation, and continuation to the downside. So I was just looking at this 4-hour structure and it wasn't clear. By the time the market opened around here, it was just too choppy. So yeah, it's clear that the direction is down. So I will still be looking for longs until I see a break of this structure and a break of the trend line. So searching for some key levels here, possibly on the daily. I can see one right here, something like this. Why? Because tap, 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 a lot of taps. Yeah, you can just draw a little zone around this area to catch as many wicks as possible. And oops, and yeah, that's my next area of support, which is around 67,500, which is a nice number here. The top of this rectangle is that area. So if price pulls back a little bit for another lower high, I may short this market with a maximum target of 67,500. Aussie JPY daily time frame, as it is a JPY pair, we saw a bullish push here, but I can see the last 2 days we started to slow down, indicating to me that there are some sellers. So if I just mark quickly this daily level, the daily price action the daily price action is just perfect. We saw this push to the upside, a nice break below, pull back here, double top formation, which is beautiful. And dropping down to the 4-hourly time frame, what can we see? Again, double top, price attempts to push down but fails, and we started to form this ascending structure here. But on Friday, we can see we had a nice push to the downside. However, we still kind of struggled a little bit to break the last higher low formation here. So what I want from this market is either for price to continue breaking below, really showing me that the sellers are taking control, or another tap here for, like, this could be a triple top, or yeah, we have a lot of taps here around this area. But if just price comes back in here to reject again, I may look for shorts. But my best opportunity is if price action creates a lower low and then pulls back for a lower high. Looking at the daily time frame of NZD/USD, I just can see consolidation. So something like this. So those are the last 10 days. Price has been consolidating at this key area here. You can see around this point here, we're having a very strong supply area. So we would expect shorts usually in this pair. And if we drop down to the 4-hourly time frame, we can clearly see the consolidation here. It's not a clear consolidation, it's quite choppy. So really no opportunities on this one for the whole week. It's super simple, guys. I will wait for price to show me a lot of selling pressure to break below and then for a lower high retest, or for price to break above to come back to test again higher low. Very simple break and retest. Yeah, we saw this bullish push to the upside after this double bottom, but price just started to consolidate, and I would expect a nice downtrend to form right now. So let's see. NZD-JPY daily time frame, what can we see here is 3 days of bullish price action and then price started to consolidate. But we can clearly see that price closed above this massive consolidation area which we had for over a month. You can see on the 4-hourly that very strong supply area finally getting broken. So that is a good sign. So we might expect a pullback around here to look for buys. But just looking at the daily time frame, I can see this massive push to the downside. Could this be a whole pullback? If we plot a very big daily fib, we can see prices exactly here in the pocket, and I can see a very strong area here on the left. So I can say that we may start reversing a little bit to the downside, looking at this bullish structure that is kind of getting broken right now. But let's stick to the overall trend. So if price action comes back around, let's find a key level, something like this. Yeah, we already had a quick tap here, but this massive wick, we see a lot of buyers coming in here after this manipulation. Actually, this is 70.0, a key round number. You can put it on your charts. So if we have a tap here, and if I see clear rejections, I may try to long this pair with take profits here at 7,500, which is around 50 pips. But yeah, just looking at the daily setup, I think we may start to push down. If we do, let's wait for price to break this area, to come back for a retest, and then to go short. So no need to rush things, guys, because the week, not the week, but the month is going to be super slow, quite manipulative. So always make sure to wait for the right confirmations. USD-JPY daily time frame, here again we see 3 days of bullish price action and then 2 days of consolidation. So looking at the structure, price just created, yeah, it's a higher high because we see higher low, higher high, and currently what do we expect? A little pullback here for a higher low for price to continue to the upside. But I can see that price is currently getting into some sort of an area here. If I plot this line, I think that this could be a strong support and resistance area. Oops, not like this, but something like this. So I usually don't look at support and resistance, but if we drop down to the 4-hourly time frame, we see that price is starting to find the top. So I really think we might have a little downtrend here on the 4-hourly. Let me check this level here and let's plot a Fibonacci to know where to expect price. Yeah, we can see around 50%. I would expect the price action to flush to the downside because we see that the Japanese yen pairs are aligning for a short. So I think UJ may push a little bit to the downside, but sticking to the overall trend, I think that this may pull back once more, give us another push to the upside, but I will just follow the 4-hourly structure. So just currently looking at it, I think it's really finding the top. We had this consolidation here, manipulation to the upside, massive bearish engulf, and currently giving us a little pullback. So if I just mark this little structure, that is like the last higher low. If this gets broken, I will look for a minor lower high to short this pair down with targets around 50%, which is 109. So but yeah, it can just start trending down because it has been trending up for a very long time, and we might have a retracement like this with very clear lower highs and nice push down. So taking this range and plotting it here, yeah, we see it's a little bit big, like it will come to the 78.6, but I would expect something like this right now. So let's see if UJ gives us a short opportunity, and make sure to monitor price when it comes to around 109. Overall bullish structure on USD Swiss franc, we can see how price is ascending from here, forming some sort of a channel, but we can see that price is at the top right now, reacting from this let's see, from this massive demand area right here. Do you see the wick? Like it's a massive wick here, piercing through and rejecting all the way down. So dropping down to the 4-hourly time frame, yeah, we see this massive push to the downside and immediate reaction from here to the upside. So having a look at this structure, I think that this is still bullish. I will short this market if I get a break of this one, of this little zone in here. So I will monitor for this, and we can potentially get a pullback for some sort of a head and shoulders. If you can visualize this, something like this, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, short from here to the downside, because I really think that this is due to a nice little downtrend on the 4-hourly, which will be a pullback on the daily. And if we plot a Fibonacci like this, we see that we have a lot of space here to the downside, to the 61.8, to the 50%, and both of the levels have perfect confluence. I can see here the 61.8 is perfectly here. You see support, break, retest, massive reaction from here, and even the 50% has some sort of interaction. But yeah, I think price may potentially pull back to the 61.8. So let's monitor for USD Swiss short, which will boost EU to the upside as well. UCAD daily time frame, we had very bullish price action here, but having a look at the last like almost 2 weeks, we see that price is finding the top. So the major area here is this, the daily area at 33,500. We didn't quite came to the top, but price is actually reacting right now from 1.33, a massive psychological level in this market. Having a look at the daily time frame, I will just mark a quick zone in here just to know where price action is, and I will drop down to the 4-hourly time frame to have a look at this. I would say consolidation or a triangle compression. Like if we have a look at this, so we have something like this, like price is compressing, and it's different. It's difficult to look at structure like this because you have higher lows as well and you have lower highs from the top. So why is my bias on this pair? Well, I see that it's descending, and just looking at the most recent price action, I see that this ABC was invalidated. So if I mark my last level right here, if price comes back to form a head and shoulders or a double top, whatever, after the break of this trend line, I will be looking for shorts. Ultimate target down here, because that's the daily high low. We might expect some sort of a Fibonacci level as well, but I don't think so because the 50% was already tapped. Price failed to continue to the upside to create higher highs, so we might start seeing a nice downtrend here. We had the uptrend. Usually price is in cycles, so if this is the up cycle, we should have a down cycle as well. So I am short bias on USD CAD. Let's see what happens. GBP USD, we finally had some movement on this pair. So after this massive push here to the upside, we're having currently this consolidation on the daily, but dropping down on the 4-hourly, we finally saw some clear structure this and the previous week. So in the previous week, we had this perfect double top here for a short, push to the downside, lower high formation, perfect lower low, pull back here for another lower high, which was a perfect short. Then price action failed to make a lower low, indicating bullish bias. Price pushed to the upside, pulled back here. That's around 50% FIB. That's not a FIB. Here is the FIB, 50%. Yeah, actually exactly in the zone here, around 56.1.8. If we start searching for confluences, hourly time frame, that was the last kind of a higher high here. Not the last, but the previous. Price pulled back here, rejection. Yeah, a little double top, double bottom on the 15 minutes. So we had a lot of confluences here. How am I looking at this market right now? So I will just mark my major zone right here, and I will just wait on Monday to see how price reacts from here. So I can see the last 2 4-hour candles are with rejection to the upside. So we might have a push to the downside. But is this a bullish push for a higher low to continue up? We don't know. If price continues to break to the upside, this will be perfect because later I will wait for price to pull back for a higher low and go long on this market. But if price gaps down or pulls back down, I will really monitor price around this area, which could be a potential head and shoulders. And yeah, this is my major area that if price action breaks below, then we will be in a bearish trend. Then we will wait for a pullback and to the downside. Again, I will make sure to flow with this market and to see where it's gonna go on Monday and then try to join the trend. GA daily time frame. So having the last few days here, we have some bullish price action. We had a little rejection here, but the last day proved to be bullish as well. So I think that this price action is super overextended exactly at this moment. So we have this higher high being created. Again, very similar to GU. It's a super nice structure, very clean. Currently, we are at this double top level. Price action has already formed the higher low, so our buy opportunity is missed. So let's see how the market reacts from here. Are we going to have a little pullback higher low for price to push up? Is it going to break above to form that higher high? So later we can wait for the higher low, or is price action going to form that double top formation to break the neckline and then to come back for a retest. So a lot of scenarios here on this one. So let's make sure again to see how the market is going to play out, and then we're gonna jump in the market. But I really kind of feel that I want to see the GBPs push to the downside a little bit. So let's have a look at I wanted to see Euro GBP, but here we have GJ, a big consolidation here as well. So very choppy market. I would really don't want to trade it. Although currently we're having that break and retest of the consolidation, price is super exhausted. Like, see, after this massive bullish push, price action just starts to consolidate, and I don't think it will have enough power and steam to continue creating higher highs. So again, as every GBP pair, I will see how price reacts around this area, and this looks good because if we have a break of this little structure here, of this little higher low, then I will wait for price to pull back on it here perfectly. Fibonacci level, we can have Fib confluence, something like this, exactly in the middle, and then we might enter a short. And having a look at Euro GBP, are we long here? Let's see. Yeah, exactly. So we're approaching here a massive daily level. It's hard to decide how to draw it exactly. We can take the bottom, we can take this, we can take all the wicks. So that's actually 0.85. So I'm gonna draw this 85, and we can see how perfectly here to the pip we had a tap and a massive reaction to the upside. So price is still bearish as we have bullish price action on GBP, GA, GU, GJ, because the pound is strong, right? That's evident. But we have this descending trend line here. So if price action pushes, I really want to see the break of this structure, and then I will just follow the trend. Like, this is my reversal trade. But let's see how price action pulls back. Possibly we might have another push here to form that double bottom at 0.85. If I have a lot of rejections, I may enter a risky long, but ultimately I really want to see price push to the upside first, break the structure, break the trend line, and then look for my trades. So that's the GBP pairs. I kind of want to see a weak GBP this week, so let's see what happens. Gold daily time frame. So we had here 4 days of consolidation, and the final day I can see we have some bullishness. So 1450, my key level since a very long time, which I expected, and it finally tapped here, and we had a massive reaction. So we know that this level really is respected by traders. And then we had this push here, pull back again, tap, massive reaction, and then price just started to consolidate. But having a look at on Friday, the market closure where all the traders closed their positions, we had this massive bullish push breaking above this structure. So I'm looking bullish on gold. If UJ starts to fall, if EU starts to push, then I will be taking longs on gold, and this is the perfect setup, like break and retest of structure. We see how price fails to break below this. We have this triple bottom here, price breaking even above the major structure. So if I have any pullbacks to the downside around this area, I will be taking longs on gold. It really looks pretty good. And I think after this whole downside here, this whole corrective movement, we see massive push, correction. It's like a flag formation. We can finally start seeing some bullishness. I'm not sure of the fundamentals and how they affect gold, everything what is happening right now, but just looking technically, it looks like we're gonna have a bullish week. So let's see if that happens. All right, let's wrap up this video with some indices. US30. So I am not trading this one because it's super overextended, and frankly guys, I'm afraid to buy this one when it's creating it's creating major and all-time highs. So having a look at the last structure here, we had a little bit of consolidation and price started to exhaust a little bit. We had this kind of head and shoulders formation here. Price is trying to push below, but it fails. So zooming in on price action, I will be having a look at this area. So if price breaks below to show me that there are sellers of this market, and then come back for a retest to get that good entry, and then I will start looking for shorts on this one. Super simple analysis. I don't want to overcomplicate those things because usually they move to the upside, and if we're gonna catch a retracement it should be brief and we should just keep buying low on those one. Price is currently high, it's consolidating, so we might expect a push to the downside. Let's see if we have a fib. Yeah, probably in and around these areas here, 1561.8%. so let's see if it breaks the structure, pulls back, and then we can look for a short. And NAS100, absolutely the same. It just printed new all-time highs, new territory. So 4-hourly time frame, very bullish push. It kind of starts to create lower highs. If you can see, they're super minor, but yeah, it's really not clear. So I just want to see clear price action on this one. I cannot even work with the structure because I frankly don't see it. If I just mark this as my major one, I would like to see a pullback here to gather some more liquidity, or I want to see clear waves starting to form, because this looks just like a corrective pullback in order for the price to explode up, and this could happen. This is actually a pretty good continuation formation of this bullish push. So let's see what happens with the indices. I'm really not rushing with those things. So yeah, overall guys, the December just started, so the market will be either quiet or too volatile, not respecting too much technicals. Usually by that time it gets like this. I don't say don't trade, but it's just a little bit tricky, and yeah, it's advisable not to reduce your risk and just be a little bit more patient and yeah, volatile with your positions. So that's for this week, guys. I hope you enjoyed the analysis. Although we don't have too much structure, we don't have too much opportunities, but let's see how Monday opens. Let's see if we have those impulsive movements. Let's see how the dollar is going to start the week. Are we having a reversal on EU as well to the upside, which is going to direct all the other pairs? So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe. Let me know if you like this video, and let me know down in the comments what you want to see more. Thank you for staying up until now, and see you on my next video.